Welcome. In this session, we would focus on some of the very important topics related to environment. So, IUCN classification and the species which have been endangered, vulnerable, near to extinct. So, all those are some of the important classifications that you must understand. COP28, India's stand for that, the renewable energy, the targets for renewable energy, European Union's recent initiative for carbon trade and carbon taxation for import of any commodity, for example steel or concrete, and that if it is brought from a polluting industry, EU would tax it, and this would come into effect by 2026. So it's known as the carbon border adjustment mechanism. Now the net zero emission, the concepts behind net zero emission, extremely important. The target set to be achieved by 2070. Carbon capture and storage, where we talk about carbon sequestration, the ways of carbon sequestration, the major carbon sinks across the world, and how do we achieve the net zero emission targets. Global warming, issues related to global warming, how we can mitigate and how the technologies could be brought to actually reduce the global warming. Similarly, we have the cooling effect in the atmosphere and how that can be achieved. IPBES report. Now IPBES report talks about ecological balance and global assessment for the same. So it talks about the extinction rate of the species, the degradation of the habitat, the impact on the ecological balance, and so on. Project Tiger, Project Cheetah, Project Dolphin are some of the very important projects, government's effort. Project Cheetah recently. So some of the efforts of the government related to same, the major sanctuaries associated with the same. In the recent down to earth, we have seen how the prey base is declining, and when we are bringing in cheetah and tiger to a population, to feed one we require nearly 500 to 600 population of deer annually. So how a prey base can be maintained, that is again an important topic. Then we talk about programs like CAMPA, which is the government forestation program, issues related to deforestation, how you can mitigate the issues of deforestation, the recent data on forest cover, how the wetland areas are brought into because of the global warming are getting out of the arable land, how the incrustation has been seen, GI tag for specific species, for example bhalia wheat, which grows without water in the regions of Kutch, Bharuch in Gujarat. So those are some of the ideas, the region of Bhavnagar. So these are some of the ideas that you must take into account. Then CBD, which is the Convention on Biodiversity, biological diversity, and this is a post 2020 global diversity framework. Then we have a national clean air program. Now this is very important in light of the rising pollution levels in Delhi. The rejuvenation of Ganga, the projects associated to it, the recent cruise which has been released in Ganga river, and the issues related to inland transportation. Then plastic waste, managing the plastic waste, e-waste, managing the e-waste, hospital waste, incineration processes, and how those could be improved. Another important topics for sustainable economy, we can say, is circular economy. So circular economy, where you have extended producer responsibility regulations that can be brought. Similarly, we have sustainable agriculture. For sustainable agriculture, we promote organic farming. So the various initiatives associated with Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, EIA, environmental impact assessment. We have covered again a separate lecture on environmental impact assessment, the guidelines for the same and the framework for the same. Renewable sources of energy, disaster management, international organizations associated to it. So the role of UNEP, UNFCCC, CBD, the Convention for Biological Diversity are some of the important elements that you must touch and cover in the section on environment. As I already mentioned, we are just touching the important topics in this lecture. The idea is you must delve deeper into these topics in order to ensure that none of these topics gets untouched, and these are extremely important for your upcoming examinations. So stay tuned, do follow the links below for more information. Have a wonderful evening ahead.